A very good morning, class 11. So let's continue today's chapter, that is the Browning version of play written by Terrace Rattigan from your book Hornbill. So till now we have discussed about that how Taplow, student, and Frank, the science teacher, they met in the school. Taplow was there to complete his work as he was not well in the previous week and did not attend the classes. Mr. Crocker Harris had given him the work, otherwise he would not be able to have the remote. So there Taplow and Frank met and they started discussing about Crocker Harris. Now it was clearly mentioned there. Taplow mentioned about his feelings towards Mr. Crocker Harris teacher, that he was not sadist and he liked that teacher. And Mr. Crocker Harris did not like when somebody liked him. He hated. And there, Frank, he thought that he was exaggerating. So we are continuing it here from page number 54. Taplow, no sir, I am not exaggerating. Informed. Now he gave one example. The other day, Mr. Crocker Harris teacher, he made one of the classical joke in our class. Of course, nobody laughed because nobody understood it, myself included. Still, I knew he would meant it as funny, but still Taplow thought it would be a funny joke because teacher had cried. And I laughed, out of ordinary common politeness and feeling a bit sorry for him for having made poor joke. And he felt bad also because the joke was not understandable to others. Now I can't remember what the joke was, but I suppose I make it. Now you laugh, sir. Frank laughed. So he explained the situation to him. And Frank even started laughing on it. Taplow in a very gentle and throaty voice. Taplow, you laughed at my little joke, I noticed. I must confess that I am pleased at the advance your Latin has made, since you so readily have understood what the rest of the form did not. Perhaps now you would be good enough to explain it to them so that they can too share your pleasure. So Taplow mentioned, when I laughed on that joke, Mr. Crocker Harris said that I'm happy that you laughed on my joke because he understood it, but others were not able to. So I really want that you should share that, or what you have understood, share with others so that others can also enjoy. The door up right is pushed open and Millie Crocker Harris, now when Taplow and Frank were discussing about Mr. Crocker Harris, his wife, Mr. Crocker Harris' wife, it is Mrs. Millie Harris, she entered. She is a thin woman in her late 30s, rather smartly dressed in the general run of schoolmaster's wife. Wearing a cape and carries a shopping basket, closes the door and stands by the screen watching Taplow and Frank. It is a few seconds before they notice her. So means few seconds were there when she was there and they noticed little late. Frank, come along. Taplow moves slowly above the desk. Do not be so selfish as to keep a good joke to yourself. Tell to others. He breaks off, suddenly noticing Millie. Oh Lord. So he asked to Taplow to share that joke with me also. But as he noticed Millie Crocker Harris, he said, oh Lord. Frank turns quickly. He relieved at seeing Millie. Frank, oh hello. Millie, hello. Without having any expression. Taplow, do you think she heard? So Taplow asked from the teacher, Frank. I think she did. She was standing there quite a time. So he said, might be she had heard because she was, because he was standing there from a very longer period of time. If she did and she tells him, there goes my remove. Nonsense. So Taplow said, if she had heard and she is going to say these things to Mr. Crocker Harris, then I would not be having any remove. Millie takes the basket from the sideboard, moves above the table and puts the basket on it. So Millie asked from Taplow, waiting for my husband? Yes. He's at the bursars and I'd be there quite a time. If I were you, I would go. So he said, so what she said, that my husband is at bursar right now, he would take time. So if I would be at your place, I would have left this place till now because waiting from us in a longer period of time. He said, most particularly I was to come. So Taplow mentioned, teacher mentioned, Crocker has mentioned he would come. Well, why don't you run away for a quarter of an hour and come back? Supposing he gets here before me. I will take the blame. I tell you, you can do a job for him. Take this prescription to the chemist and get it made it up. All right, Mrs. Crocker Harris. So she suggested, and why don't you go and take a break for 45 minutes or something like that. Right, it's written here that for a quarter of an hour. So he asked what would happen if he would come in between. So she said, I will take a blame. You just go and what you can do, take a prescription and you can buy the medicines for me from the chemist and then you can do any other thing also. So he said, okay, and then he leave that place. So the question, this is only about in this chapter. So the questions are, you need to comment on the attitude shown by Chapter towards Crocker Harris. Does Franks, you need to tell that how he felt towards him. Then does Frank seem to encourage Chapter's commenting Crocker Harris? Yes, because he felt envy from him. What do you gather about Crocker Harris from the play? So you need to tell about the information, that what you understood, what kind of a teacher or a person Mr. Crocker Harris was. Now this chapter is also clear to you. So God bless you. Send the book kindly. Thank you.